Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining this session today on how to grow your safety or facilities services business in 2024. Uh, just to clarify, when I say facility services, I mean facility services rather than your safety services business. It could be a safety business selling products or a facilities related business selling products as well. But I've got some exciting news for you today about a new approach that I'm taking, launching it in January, and would love for you to get involved. So let's get straight into it. Now, if you don't know me, I just wanted to share my backstory because it's helpful just to give a bit of context on why I'm really passionate about this kind of topic. So if you cast your mind back to 2012, 13th of May. This was the time before kids, before marriage. And so Sundays were relaxing. For those of you that have kids, you'll know that Sundays are no longer relaxing, but once upon a time they were. And my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, and I woke up, had some croissants, relaxed a bit, and then we decided we'd go to this place in London called Columbia Road Flower Market. We bought some flowers, we had a walk along the canal, we had a nice lunch, and we're having a jolly nice time. Then we started to head home. We drove our car to Islington, to the Sainsbury's in Islington. We were going to go and just grab the paper and a few groceries. We parked our car in the car park, turned the corner to walk towards the front of the store, and I was walking down the road, pretty much where this guy on the screen in the blue jumper is. And that's the last thing that I remember for several hours. That was a photograph of me later on that day. You can tell it's from 10 years ago because I've got many fewer grey hairs. A car came around that corner too fast, lost control, mounted the curb, and ran me over. As you can see in the photograph on the right, I broke my collarbone, I broke my left wrist, I broke my left ankle, neck damage, and lots of other stuff. So when something like that happens to you, safety certainly becomes a key priority. And my belief, and this is what drives me in my business, and I think would drive you in yours, if you've got a safety or a facilities related business, is that what we do benefits the world. So there's this thing called the Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 goals created by the UN. If you look at these, the driving force of a lot of them, we can say that if we're working in safety or facilities, we are a big key driving force of all of these goals. And so if we are better at selling our businesses, growing our businesses, marketing our businesses, then the result of that is that we make the world a cleaner, safer, greener, better, more sustainable place. And that is both to our benefits, business owners, of course, and we can pay our mortgages and feed our families and all of that good stuff that we need to do, but also we're helping the broader, wider world as well. The converse of that is if we're not very good at marketing and sales for our business, if we can't get leads, if we can't create conversations with prospective clients, then no sales and the world fails, as do we. And my insight would be that most companies in this space are not very good at growth. They're not very good at generating interest. They don't know how to identify and attract leads, and there's certainly room for improvement in closing sales. So for the good of everyone, including ourselves, we need to be better at this. So here's a question. Think about this Venn diagram. If we had, oh, there's a typo there. That's terrible, isn't it? If we had a proven growth strategy, if we had community and support, and if we had resources and training, if we were sitting in the middle of this diagram, do we think that our businesses would grow better, faster, and overall more? Let me know your thoughts on that but just don't take the mickey about the typo. I'll tidy that up for future presentations. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. So today's session is for you if you tick these two boxes. So you either have a product or a service that you're selling, delivering, and you sell that into either a safety or facilities management related buyer, or you're helping your customers with their safety or something to do with their facilities management. So that's one. And two, you're keen to grow your business and to learn how to get momentum and a proven system in place. So if you tick those two boxes, that's great, you're in the right place. If you don't, you're welcome, to join us, and hopefully you'll get something from it. But the presentation today I'm going to talk about is specifically designed for people that fit into those two boxes. If you're watching along, let me know in the comments how important out of 10 is it for you to grow your business, to get momentum, and to get a proven system in place. So what am I going to cover today? Why is it difficult to get business from safety and FM buyers? I'm going to talk about the method that I've developed that really, really works. I'm going to share with you some results that I've achieved from using that method. And then I'm going to go into how you can implement this method working alongside me and a peer group of similar businesses on the same kind of journey in a mastermind style group starting in January. So keep active in the chat. Let me know that you're awake, and happy to take any questions. There are specific slots for questions, but just fire questions into the chat if you have any, and I'll deal with them as they come up. So at the end of this, there is going to be an offer, which is an offer to join this new kind of mastermind group that I'm setting up. Here's an insight for you. I've learned this to my detriment over the years. Implementation is everything. So you can listen to a podcast, you can attend a webinar, you can read a book, you can watch a video, you can download a check sheet, you can do all sorts of things, and you can consume ideas, thoughts, strategies, tactics, all sorts of different content around not only how to grow your business, but other things as well. But none of that counts unless you actually implement it. And this is very much about a systemized, supportive way of helping you to implement. So it's called the Safety and Facilities Business Growth Academy. It's a 12-month membership to this mastermind. You are joined in with a peer group of fellow businesses who are selling similar things, obviously, because it's very much around safety and FM, who are going on the same journey. It's about supporting each other and implementing all these best practices, and I'll give you more details at the end. There is a cost to this. The launch price is $197 a month, or you can pay $1970 and basically buy 12 months for the price of 10. So that's the overall thing to consider as you're watching this, and I'll give you more details at the end. So I've given you my backstory, but if you don't know me that much, I'm Christian Harris. I'm the leader of a business called Slip Safety Services. I founded the business coming up 6 years ago. At the time, it wasn't a planned thing. It all came a little bit out of the blue. So we started with a blank sheet of paper when it came to how to grow the business. So we've had to do a lot of trial and error, and therefore we've had this kind of squiggly road of doing things not working, iterating, improving, etc. But we have, 2 or 3 years, but we figured out a way. We charted a course, and we got to this point of having this system, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, that really does work and has produced some great results. And by the way, I've been supporting other businesses to implement this system as well. So it's worked for us, but it's worked for other businesses similar to yours. And I'm going to share with you some examples of that coming up soon as well. So we've won awards. We've been quoted by the BBC. I get asked to speak. We've built up a huge audience, and we get a lot of visibility on what we do. And most importantly, we grow our sales consistently year after year after year as well, because all of this other stuff is great, but obviously the key thing here is we want to be growing our businesses. So why is it hard? I mentioned I'd talk about this, and the three struggles that I've seen and I've experienced trying to grow a business in the safety or facilities services space is firstly that prospects kind of don't know who you are, so you feel like you're the best kept secret. That's partly because the people that we need to, being blunt, sell to are very busy, very stretched. They're juggling lots of priorities, and so getting their attention is quite difficult. The second thing that I see is that we don't have a consistent method of starting, developing, and closing conversations. So we need a system to do that. And until you're predictably doing that, then it's very difficult, because if you don't know where your next conversation is coming from, it's hard to know where your next sale is coming from. And that leads to having unpredictability or lumpiness in our results. And there's nothing more frustrating than that, because if you don't know where your leads are coming from, you don't know where your sales are coming from, then you don't know where your profit's going to be coming from, and obviously where your cash flow is going. So I've had all of these problems, and it's quite debilitating if you're stuck in that space. So to contrast that, what do we need to do? We've got to achieve these three keys to success. And if we can do this, then we are in the best possible position. So we need to be positioned and perceived as the obvious go-to choice. So whatever it is that we do, whatever little niche we're in, we need to be the go-to person and the go-to brand in that space. We need to think about it from a customer perspective and be customer focused, buyer focused, and create a series of simple, logical steps that the buyer can take and think about their journey. So it's about them, not about us. And we need to build a system that we can crank the handle and predictably get results. So, we put in these inputs here and we get these outputs there. So is there a way to do that? Yes, there is. And it starts with thinking about three philosophies. ILS. So interactions lead to interest. Logical next steps lead to leads. Probably don't need all that alliteration. And service leads to sales. So think about these three philosophies, and there's a model driving all of this. And this is exactly what I do day in, day out, week in, week out in my business. And it's called the ILS method. So we've got three parts to this. We've got interactions driving interest, logical next steps driving leads, service driving sales. And I'm going to walk you through this model. Now, as I say, this is what we do. It's also what other businesses have done. And I've trained and taught other businesses on how to implement this. And I'm going to share with you some of the results that they've had. If you take part in the academy, the mastermind, you're going to get access to training materials on every single aspect of this. And we're going to be implementing this as a group together across the year, iterating, improving, and getting this machine humming. So the first bit is around generating interest, and attention is a really critical and valuable currency in the world right now. It's very, very hard to get people's attention, and everything flows downstream from that. So we need to figure out a way of creating interactions with people, and that's how we're going to get their attention. This splits into three things. So the first thing is profile, and we need to think about who. So who is it we're targeting? Who is our ideal customer, demographically, but also psychographically? And then we need to think about you. So are you showing up as the obvious choice? And if you're not, what can we do to make sure that you are? Let me know in the chat, which of these do you think you need most work on? Which of these are you strongest on at the moment? We can do this in part in terms of the you bit on LinkedIn. So a lot of what I do is on LinkedIn. I'm going to show you some of that later. So on LinkedIn, for your profile perspective, and there are a few things you can do. You can change your URL. You can put a nice banner in, a nice profile photo. You can have a headline which is focused on the customer, not you. You can switch on creator mode and associate yourself with some hashtags. You can also include a link to a third-party website as well, which is all very useful. And the key thing here is to remember that it's about your customer, not you. So it's a landing page, not a CV. We need to be showcasing your ability to solve your ideal customers' problems. But it's not just about LinkedIn. So we need to do the same on your website, your other content, other social media platforms, within your reputation, anywhere somebody might find you, be recommended to you, etc. We need to make sure that you're showing up as the obvious choice for these right sorts of people. Second part of getting interest is content. So the idea here is that if people can see you again and again, they will eventually be open to talking to you. Now, I think about this like a content sandwich. We need to have different flavors and layers of content within our sandwich to achieve the outcome that we want to. I schedule my content. This is the kind of advanced way of doing it. So a lot of my content is scheduled. And there's different categories going out at different times of day across different platforms. Don't worry if that looks a bit intimidating. We don't need to start there. That's where we end up. Here's an idea of what you can do just on LinkedIn. And this was from, I think last year, almost 3 million impressions over 365 days and 70,000 engagements. So it is possible, even if you're talking about a topic like I do about slips, trips and falls, which is not the most riveting topic, to build an audience. And just to put that into context, here's my analytics this morning. So just in the last 7 days, I've had 620,000 post impressions, 3,000 people viewing my profile in the last 90 days. I've got 27,000 followers, and every week appearing in 560 search appearances. So it's very much possible through your content to get visibility, and that is getting interest and starting these interactions. 3 big ideas around content. You need content that achieves know, like, and trust. And we go through exactly how to create content that fits those 3 criteria. And the third thing is about outreach. So we need to be the ones making the first efforts. We want people to be coming to us, but we don't want to be just relying on people coming to us. We rely on people coming to us. We want to be proactively taking the effort to start these interactions with people. 2 thoughts around this. The first one is what I call finding the red apple. So that is finding something unique and interesting about a person and using that as a way to start conversation with them on a human-to-human level. So we don't go in there and send a big long thing about us. We ask them an insightful question about them, and that's how we can start conversation. And the second thing is like, don't be weird. So many people send stuff in email or on LinkedIn or on other social media that they would never ever say in real life. You need to be mindful that we're just people interacting with other people. So don't be weird. Don't be doing like pitch slapping, which is where you send your big long pitch, me, I, we. That doesn't work. Just gonna have a sip of water. So if we follow those 3 methods, we can create a level of interest through interactions. The next thing we want to do is we're now getting lots of conversations going. We're getting people adding us on LinkedIn and other places. We're getting people viewing our content. The next thing we want to do is to be able to provide a logical next step or a series of logical next steps, which are a bit like a filter that enable our prospective leads to sort of put their hand up and say, yeah, I might be interested in this. And the best way I think to do that is to do it through insights, through light bulb moments, through giving value and enabling somebody to say, yeah, I could be interested in working with you. So three great ways that achieve this. The first is what I call a value bundle. So this is creating content that is insightful, in-depth, valuable, and really critically passes a threshold of intent. So we need to think about if our ideal customer, our ideal prospect, had a particular problem, what's a question we could ask, or what's a resource we could give them that if they wanted that resource, if they asked that question, answered that question, sorry, it would show that they're serious about solving this problem. So we can craft content whereby we can weed out the people that cross this intent threshold, and therefore they become a good, strong lead for us. And we can create this content in such a way that we're capturing their data, and therefore we can follow them up. The second thing that works really well is events. There's a mirror on the screen because if you're listening to this, watching this, you've come to an event. So this is proof that events work really well. There is very, very powerful, simple, logical next step because there's a low commitment from the person attending the event, but they can receive a lot of value. From your perspective, if you're running an event, so I'm now on this event, rather than speaking to each of you one-to-one, I'm speaking to several of you, sort of 20, 30 odd people across all the places this is being shown. But I'm only having to do it once. So I'm leveraging my time and building a relationship at scale. And what you can do, you don't have to do webinars like this. You can just do very simple Q&A sessions to start with. So this is an example of this that I did in 2022, so about a year ago. I did a slips, trips and falls, open Q&A, ask me anything. 32 people registered for this event. That's 32 people on the LinkedIn event who've raised their hand and said, I'm interested in slips, trips and falls. They're a lead for my business. You wouldn't sign up to this event if you weren't interested in learning about how to prevent slips, trips and falls. You just wouldn't, because there'd be no interest in it for you. So we're not trying to go out and get the widest possible audience with any of these lead generation activities. We're trying to figure out a way of filtering the people who are interested really in what it is that we do. So just running this one event, I've created a list of 32 people to follow up, 32 leads just from running this one event. And the third thing that I love is a diagnostic tool. So this is like an online quiz. But the difference is that rather than just answering a quiz and then it says thanks very much, this enables you to feed back scores to the person. So Jonathan here has taken what I call a slip prevention scorecard. He's logged onto a website, he's answered a series of questions, and at the end of that, he's been given these scores. So overall, he scored 64%, and then he's got 6 different category areas. And in some of them, he scored really well, like environment, but in others, like surface, he hasn't scored that well. Now, the huge value of this is that if you follow this up properly, so 15 minutes after he's done this, if you ring in and say, oh, hi, Jonathan, it's Christian from Slip Safety Services. I've noticed you've taken the slip prevention scorecard, and well done. You scored 64% overall. That's great. That's definitely above average. However, I did notice there are a couple of areas where there's some room for improvement. Would you be interested in improving your score? Human psychology being what it is, he's always going to say yes. And so you've created a conversation, A. B, it's his data, not your data. So it's not me ringing him up and saying, Jonathan, you work for a manufacturing facility, let's say, and most manufacturing facilities statistically have a problem with slips, trips and falls, and particularly around the surface of their floors. If I'm saying that to him, he might not believe me, but here it's his data, it's his answers. So he's self-assessed his own business and he's figured out that he's got a problem with his service. That's much, much more powerful. And from our perspective, if you can get somebody to do this kind of diagnostic, we get a huge amount of data about them, and that enables us to serve them better because we know where they're struggling, where they're strong, how they view the world, etc. And we can have a much more powerful conversation with them afterwards. And you can see here, look, completed 3 minutes 19. So it hasn't taken a huge amount of time for him to do this, but he's getting a huge amount of value from it. Let me know, which of these 3 lead systems resonate most with you? Value bundle, events, or a diagnostic? Which do you think would work best in your business? Let me know in the chat. And then the last bit of this, we've done I, we've done L, now we're on to S, and this is about service leading to sales. Key idea here is that real artists ship. So you can be a great artist, but if you're not selling what you do, then are you really achieving anything? Lots of us can fall in love with the technical aspects of our business or be real specialists in the technical aspects, but fundamentally we need to get quotations sent out, purchase orders coming into us, invoices raised and payments in the bank for us to grow our business. But we need to do this from the place of service. So 3 key ideas around this. The first is a taster product. So to go from 0 to 5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever your core product or service might cost, is quite a big jump. To go from, say, 0 to £500 is quite an easy jump. And to go from £500 to 5 grand is quite an easy jump. So thinking about that concept of simple logical next steps, if we can introduce something that goes in between the core product or core service offering and where we are now, which is we've delivered a lot of value and we've built a relationship, but they haven't spent any money, that's going to smooth that process for the client and for us. So in my business, we use a pendulum slip test in this way. So that costs £500, whereas our core product or service could be £5,000 or more. £500 is an amount that people can say yes to without having to give it too much thought on a business-to-business setting. It builds a relationship, so we get to spend a bit more time with them. We get to go and actually see their building and have some face time with them, so they can figure out if they like us and we can figure out if we like them. Crucially, it gives value to the client. So in this case, they're getting the visit, they're getting the insights, they're getting the testing scores, they're getting a nice report, etc. And it gets us on the payment system, which can often be a challenge. So I'd always recommend thinking about what you can do as a taster product. Big brands do this. Apple has iTunes, or used to have iPods. They have phones leading through to laptops, is where they make that's their key product. Software companies have free trials or discounted trials. Car companies get you to go for a test drive. Having a taster product is really, really valuable. Second thing is following up. So the quote is in the top right here. The fortune is in the follow-up. Think of it this way. We've invested a lot of time and our lead has invested a lot of time so far going around this circle with us. It's only right that we would follow them up. We owe it to ourselves, we owe it to them. Look at this data on the left. 48% of people give up after the first attempt at following up, but 80% of sales are made after 5 or more follow-ups. There are some cool things we can do on LinkedIn to follow people up rather than just ringing them. So we can do video messages, voice messages, sending posts, commenting on posts, and various other things. So we run through all of that as part of the academy. And then sales and offers. It's really important that we're not afraid of asking for the sale. We have to be asking for the sale. We've got to be making offers. So somebody I know and have worked with before talks about avoiding ABS braking, which is anything but sales. So we will do some marketing, we'll tinker with our product, we'll have a look at some spreadsheets, we'll do our expenses, we'll do anything we can to avoid having to try and do sales. But we need to be comfortable doing sales because asking for that sale, getting that sale is what is fundamentally driving the business forward. But remember, this whole system is not about being a pushy salesperson. It's about leading the horse to water. So by the time we're getting to this point of asking for the sale, the prospective customer should feel like this horse being led to the water. It should feel like a simple, logical next step right at the end of this journey to say, yeah, okay, let's go ahead. So we're not all of a sudden going to turn into a pushy salesperson. So that's a run through of the ILS method, and that's the kind of cornerstone of what we're going to be working through as part of the academy. As I mentioned, I've done 4 groups of sort of an intensive teaching of this method before in little sprints of between 7 and 12 weeks. But now we're changing the model and making it a bit more accessible and less intensive, shall we say. The beautiful thing about this model is that it's fully systemized, it's predictable, it's repeatable. So, these events run weekly. The diagnostic is always on, for example. It's pretty hands-off once you've set it up. It's scalable. We use AI and technology to amplify and improve it. It's proven to work for safety and FM buyers, and we can implement it very quickly. So how can we implement it? Again, forgive the typo. So this is the idea of the mastermind. The idea of the mastermind is I've talked about this top section, which is the proven growth strategy. This is the ILS method. Yeah. So we've got this as one of the pillars of this mastermind that we're going to be starting. And the other 2 pillars are community and support and the resources and the training. These 2 bits. Now, this isn't the best slide because there's a lot of text on here, but I'm just going to run you through what you're going to get if you come and join. So you're going to get weekly Zoom coaching sessions with me. We're going to be implementing the ILS method. So there's going to be an online training portal of videos talking you through exactly how to implement each of those 9 steps. And you can work at your own pace. We're going to have lists and downloads of all the tools, technology, and training. We're going to have a community hosted on a specific website, so members can network, share ideas in a safe space because it's only for members, not visible at all to anyone that isn't a member. We're going to work together to amplify networks, so I'll be helping you to get your message out through my network and vice versa. We're going to have accountability. We're going to get third-party experts coming in at least once a quarter to talk about specific ideas. So podcasting as a strategy, for example, might be one. How to run a sales call might be another. There's all sorts of ideas we've got there. We're going to do quarterly planning workshops, so more in-depth quarterly planning to come up with goals, targets, and strategies. And then there's going to be the opportunity to do some one-to-one coaching with me as well. So it's a 12-month cycle, and just trying to show that sort of in a diagram. So throughout the 12 months, you get all of the ILS training materials, the tools, the templates, the AI, the software, etc. So that's throughout the 12 months. Then we do weekly Zoom sessions, and these will be themed, and then there'll be occasional ones which are just kind of open as well. But on every one of these, there'll be an opportunity just to come to me and ask me any questions about anything that you're getting stuck with. We'll have quarterly focused campaigns as well, and we'll do sort of half-day events for all the members to come along and really focus in on our strategy for the next quarter. There's the online community and the support running throughout this, and then we're going to have some guest speakers and experts coming in as well. And it's a 12-month commitment, so you sign up for 12 months, and then there's an opportunity to carry on a rolling basis after that too. So will this work for you? Key question, how much is a lead worth for you? So there's an investment to join this academy, this mastermind. So we need to make sure we're going to get a return on that investment. How much would 10 leads be worth to you, for example? So across the companies that I've worked with so far implementing the ILS method, broadly speaking, if they get 10 good leads, they normally send out 5 proposals. Of those 5 proposals, 2 lead to sales, and there's an average sale price of about 2.5K. So 10 leads a week, if you do the maths, is worth about £5,000 a week for that average business. So have a think about what 10 leads a week would be worth to you. And if you're brave, let me know in the chat what 10 leads a week would be worth. The reason I say 10 leads a week is that's the minimum that I would expect you to be able to get once you've implemented this system. So for me, and this is mostly on LinkedIn, I get over 50 leads a week. But obviously, I've been going round and round this circle, improving it and iterating it for a few years now. And you saw earlier, 32 leads just from one event. Well, I'm running events every week. So it's more than possible to get, huge amounts of leads from this method. So would 50 leads a week be making a meaningful difference to you in your business? I suspect that it would. So I mentioned I've worked with other businesses on this as well. Here's a couple of examples. So we've got Satish, who is in the safety space, and we've got Russell, who is in the FM space. Both of them did the intensive sprint implementation of ILS with me. And then, actually, I'm going to have to stop sharing, reshare, I think. Hold on. Let me do another one. Share screen, because I need to share sound. And then Gerald is literally doing an implementation sprint with me as well, and he did this little video. So hopefully you can hear this if I play it.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Gerald Whitehouse of company Hub4. We are specialists in the DSE market, display screen equipment field, selling to health and safety, facility manager, HR professionals, B2B. We signed up for Christian Harris's, that's Mr. Slip, if you don't know, 7-week LinkedIn high intensity course. And so far, we're halfway through. It's been a revelation. It's been a mind-opening experience of what is possible within the LinkedIn environment. I mean, we've used LinkedIn for years, posting very inconsistently, and now we're posting once, twice a day. We've done videos, we've done an event, I've done polls, I've engaged with 40 new connections on average every day. I'm really enjoying it. I like the way that Christian presents his material. He's very good at it. He's very holding hands. He'll give you a ring if you see something wrong with your post or something where he might be able to improve the tone of the post. He'd be on the phone or WhatsApp message within the group. Yeah, highly recommend. Good luck. Bye-bye.
So that gives you a flavour in Gerald's own words. So we're about 4 weeks in with him. He did his first event. He did a Q&A on DSE. He got 30 plus attendees, and he got 9 sales calls booked for the following week. So that's on his first iteration of implementing the model. And the point with this is once you've got it in place, you then go back and improve it again and again and again, and just keep getting better and better outcomes. So quickly, we're starting to come to a close here. Why am I doing this? So I'm not doing this because I'm going away from my main business, because my big passion is around making the world a safer place and reducing slip and fall risk. And my goal there is to have an impact of 500,000 fewer accidents around the globe each year. So I'm definitely not moving away from that. But I do see the need for helping to improve sales, marketing, lead generation, business development, growth in the markets that I operate in. So I believe that there's an opportunity for us to be better at that. I am very passionate about this as well, as you can probably tell. I'm well placed to help because I've done it and I am doing it. And being frank, by doing this, I'm helping my business because obviously there's a charge to join the academy. That means that I can reinvest money from my business on other things, which is good for my business. But also, I'm going to be helping your business, and your business is aligned to those global goals. It's aligned to making the world a cleaner, safer, more sustainable, greener, better place. And therefore, to me, that is a game worth playing. Any questions, comments, anything, just let me know. I'm not seeing many comments coming in, so hopefully it's landing and it's all making sense. So, how to get involved. So, if this sounds interesting to you, if you like the idea of this ILS method, if you like the idea of joining an academy and working with me hands-on, as Gerald has said, and with a team, a group of fellow business owners to implement these ideas and really get growth motoring in 2024, this is how to do it. So all I'm asking for now is a £1 deposit to secure your space, because it doesn't actually start until January. So I don't want to take any money from you until it actually starts. So it's a £1 deposit to secure your space. And then in January, you can decide either to do the option of paying £197 a month or paying £1970 for the full 12 months. So in other words, you're paying for 10 months up front, but getting 12 months of access. So there are the two options. This is the launch pricing. Once we get up and running, the intention is that it's going to be £297 a month for new people, or £2970 for 12 months. So there's £1,000 deposit, £1,000 discount for people that join as part of the launch. So here are the questions to ask yourself, I guess. Do you want more business? Could you see how this ILS model could work for you? Would you want to implement that with certainty? So, you could watch this webinar, go away and try and implement it yourself, but if you'd like to do it with some certainty. And a really key question, can you get a multiple return on investment from a £197 per month investment? So if you're paying £197 a month to be part of this, to implement these ideas and these concepts, can you get a significant return investment over that money over the 12 months? If you can answer yes to those questions, then let's work together. Let's get you involved. Let's get your £1 deposit sorted so you can secure your slot, and then we can start working together in January. If it's not for you, then that's no problem, but I hope you've enjoyed today. So next steps, if you're interested, let me know in the chat. Just type interested, or send me a DM on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, Twitter. Send me an email. If it's not for you, could you also let me know? Because that will save me the hassle of following you up. Because I will follow you up. I was teaching you about the importance of following up, so I've got to follow people up myself. It'd be rude not to. But if you're interested, let me know. If you're not interested, let me know, and then I won't bother you unnecessarily. So coming to the end then, and then I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. I'd say this: sales and growth, marketing, lead generation, business development, all of these things are not dirty words, even when we're talking about safety. So we need to get out of our heads about this. These are important things that we should be good at in order to grow our businesses, benefit ourselves, and benefit the world. And fundamentally, if we want to make the world a safer, cleaner, greener, more sustainable, better place, we've got to grow our businesses. We've got to win work to do that. And the more work we can win, the better we can be at winning business, the more people we can help, and the better the world will be. So to me, this is something that is a valuable thing that we should all be doing. And joining the mastermind, joining the academy, enables you to do this because we're going to tick these three boxes. We've got a proven strategy with the ILS method. We've got the community and support. We've got the resources and training all packaged up nicely. You can do it at your own pace. You can lean on me as much as you want to over those 12 months. And you can achieve the similar results to what I've done, what Gerald has spoken about, Satish, etc. So it'd be great for you to get involved. I'd love for you to join us. If you'd like to join the academy, do send me a message. Let me know in the chat, DM me, email me, whatever it might be. And it'd be great to get you on board starting in January. That's it from me. Happy to take any questions if you wanted to type anything into the chat. I'm going to quickly look and see on the various places that this is being shown if there are any questions. I think I've covered most things. And some of the questions that have been asked have been covered already by what I've said, because sometimes people ask me a question and the answer is it's going to be on the next slide. So I think we're all good, to be honest. Yeah, I think we're all good. Great. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining this session today, and let me know if you'd like to take part in the Safety and Facilities Business Growth Academy. Start